Is the intention then to actually catch the shark? It's not to be a barrier for the shark to somehow see and stay away from?
It was never designed to be a physical barrier at all. Sharks will swim either over the top, underneath, or round the sides.
So is it effective because it lowers the number of sharks?
Yes.
By killing them?
By killing them.
You say the nets work. Explain exactly how they work.
They're basically fishing devices. So if a dangerous shark comes close inshore, it has a good chance of being caught. The more time it spends inshore, the greater the chance of it being caught. If it comes in for an hour or two, and we know that sharks are often seen inside the nets, many people think that they're a physical barrier. They're not. The sharks can swim around the sides, they can swim over the top. And roughly a third of our sharks are caught on the inside of the nets, meaning that they have come inshore, but generally they do that at night. And I think if we were to all of a sudden start doing a lot of night swimming, that maybe the nets wouldn't be as successful as they are in reducing attacks. So basically they're fishing devices. They reduce the chances of a dangerous shark coming into contact with a human.
Because of what we did, it did work for keeping an animal to the other side.
So then it was a barrier.
Yeah, it was, sort of a barrier. Yeah.
The protection comes in the form of a barrier.
Yeah, for keeping an animal to the other side, yes.
Please keep all three of those clips in mind as you watch the next clips that show what takes place on a Natal Sharks Board tour boat. Also keep in mind that the Natal Sharks Board does not mince words about the fact that the nets are not a barrier and that the supposed safety is achieved by the eradication of sharks. Now, according to their own website and according to the tour I went on, they want to win points with the public as conservationists for releasing sharks that are still alive when they are found in the nets.
People outside have done it before?
I did it before. She is not.
She wanted me to experience it.
When did you do it before?
It was last May, maybe a year ago last May.
And it was good enough to do twice?
Yeah.
She wanted me to. I mean, we tried Tuesday, and this is our second attempt.
Yeah, they left
so
without
it's
us
like,
on
she really
Tuesday.
wanted me to see this.
Yeah. Yeah, they pulled
Must be
the
good.
shark out. It was probably that long. It was really cool.
That was the baby hammerhead caught in the
Yeah.
nets? That experience was enough to say, we got to come back.
We saw dolphins, yeah.
But none in the nets.
No.
Yeah.
Generally, how many sharks do they pull out of?
Oh, okay. Here in Devon, we don't normally catch a lot of sharks because Devon is not you don't find a lot of food for sharks because I think sharks, they hang around where they can find food. So we get a lot of hammerheads because hammerheads are so small, black tips and the spinners, but not quite often. Because these guys, they might go for maybe a month without catching anything because it's not a lot of sharks around this area. So the reason the guys, they come very early in the morning is just they might get lucky to find a shark that is still alive on the net. That's why they come early in the mornings. And also the other thing is that for going out at sea early in the mornings, you find the sea, it's very nice and calm. So it's very safe for the guys for launching their boats. Yeah.
Once to hear that the sharks are caught because it makes them safe, how do they react when they hear that they get released?
Especially the public doesn't get a lot of information about it, unless for the guys that are here. Unless you guys are here, because we're giving you the information. But on their reaction, sorry guys, I need to help there.
Yeah.
Okay.
One way to...
It's pretty amazing then that I saw one.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that.
Does it make you feel safe knowing that the sharks that are being caught here are just being released back again?
Oh, that's fine. That's good.
They're released on this side of the net.
I wonder which side they were caught in.
Believe it or not, things became even more confusing during a conversation on the ride back in.
As people that they don't see us as protecting the sharks, they see us as killing the sharks.
You see yourself as protecting the sharks?
We do, because if we were killing them, like it's our main mandate for killing them. We wouldn't have those nets with big gaps on the nets. We wouldn't have gaps on our nets. We wouldn't have released the shark that's still alive. But we do kill them unintentionally. But we do kill them, you know.
Well, not killing all of them is
Not
different.
all of them.
That's different than protecting them. I think you're jumping.
There's a tricky part. There's a tricky part. You know, it's like
Look, we know you're not killing them.
yeah.
I don't think I finished the question about when you release the sharks.
Oh, people. Oh, yeah. On that question, I was thinking about. It's just that it will seem like I'll explain it the same way as I'm telling you now. Is that people, when they come on board, they will think we catch the sharks and kill them. So when they find out that we don't catch them and kill them, we catch them and release them if they are alive, so they get a relief. You know, and then you get the guys that are conservationists that are working with the sharks, that are so like into them, they so like want sharks to be protected. When they get and then they get information from us of what we do, they get to understand, and then they get a relief. And then you get the guys of which they're very scared of sharks. When we tell them we release sharks, and then they will tell you why you're releasing them.
Right.
You get different
Right.
options because you get different answers or on that question. That's all I could say.
Well, what if it's one of the targeted sharks that they are trying to get rid of?
Oh,
You don't release that one, do you?
Or like the great white tiger and the Zambezi, those are the targeted ones. Even if it's those sharks, we just release them. We just release them. But we know exactly that those sharks are the most dangerous ones to the human beings. So we do release them.
But the nets aren't an actual barrier. And then you release the animals back. How do people actually get protected?
They get protected from the sharks getting to the other side. It's like keeping the animal on the other side, not to get to the people where the people are swimming.
Stop. Okay, this guy just finished telling all of us that the nets are not a barrier, then explained that safety is achieved by preventing the sharks from getting to the other side. How else would you do that other than presenting a barrier to the sharks? And as you're going to see, while he tries hard and he was a nice enough guy, I don't think he understands how the Natal Sharks Board works. Now, instead of accusing him to his face of not knowing what he's talking about, I took a different approach and presented the statistics of the sharks that are being caught leaving the beach. Because if that's true, then you're clearly not stopping the sharks from getting to the swimmers, as he just finished claiming. Now, I made the mistake of throwing out a percentage, which I'd heard 50%. I'd heard someone at the Sharks Board say 60%. Later on during this production, Jeremy Cliff states 30%. Now, he goes past all of us with his inaccuracy and says 5%.
I heard over 50% of them are caught leaving the beach.
Not 50%, but 5% of it. I won't say 50%. But on that as well, not the bigger ones that are caught on their way back, smaller ones.
How does that happen?
Because with the gaps that we have.
But
the gaps we have.
Big
because,
ones get caught going in, but small ones only get caught going out?
They do get, we catch them on the way in and the way out. That's right. You know? I was agreeing with what you were saying.
Well, I'm just asking. I'm trying to understand if I'm hearing correctly.
It's just that, you know, the bigger ones, those are the ones who are so unlikely to get caught on their way in there. But the smaller ones, they sometimes manage to go through, because when we put nets, we don't put them all the way to the shore.
I have to interrupt again, because those of you who haven't seen the film or haven't learned in some other manner, the distance between nets is kilometers. Kilometers. The distance, the gap at the top is several feet. The distance at the bottom is dozens of feet. Luck has nothing to do with it. The size of the shark has nothing to do with it. At this point in the conversation, I realize it's hopeless.
But you did say the Natal Sharks Board protects sharks.
Yes. Yeah. We're trying to do both, actually. To keep the animal alive and also to keep them alive. It's like protecting the animal is by not killing. Like when we're finding it alive, it's like trying to release it. Or maybe when we find the animal, maybe that it's half dead. What the guys do, they'll take that animal, tie a rope on the dorsal fin, and then they'll put it on the side of the boat, pull it, try and revive it, get more water in. It's like trying to protect the animal as well, you know. We're not like out there for killing them, but we do kill them. It's like work both ways, you know. When they get caught,
The plunker's gonna beat us.
and then they get died, so we do kill them.
Is the ultimate goal to reduce the number of the animals that are a threat in order to provide protection, or is the ultimate goal to create a barrier? Which way are the people being protected?
On that, I would say that. So what we did, what was Sharks Board doing, it was for protecting the human beings, not intentionally killing the animal, but the ones that get caught as the ones that end up dying, of which Sharks Board, for seeing that there are sharks that are getting killed by the net.
So in the early day,
Yeah.
priority was to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead and kill the sharks. But now as time's gone on, it's balanced out a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
The priority.
Are people
the priority? It wasn't for killing the animal. The priority was for putting a barrier, for saying to the animal, "Don't go to this side." Putting a barrier, for saying to the animal, "Don't go to this side." But with nets, with animal, because when it goes through a net, it got eyes to see it and say, oh, okay, this is something can cause problem to me. I can turn around and go away, like the dolphins.
But sharks don't have that ability.
But
That's what you
sharks
said,
don't
right?
have that ability, yes. So they end up dying in nets. So that's why Sharks Board, they've seen that occurring, or maybe sharks dying on nets. What they did, they try and work with adopting other stuff for trying to reduce the number of sharks dying on nets. That's what happened. Because of what we did, it did work for keeping an animal to the other side.
So then it was a barrier.
Yeah, it was, yeah, sort of a barrier.
The protection comes in the form of a barrier.
Yeah, for keeping an animal to the other side, yes.
Of course, I don't want the Natal Sharks Board to kill the sharks, but we have some serious problems, some serious contradictions happening here. When, by their own admission, they achieve so-called safety through the eradication of sharks, and then turn around and release sharks alive, well, how do those two things go together? They don't. It's absurd. But let's entertain a few of the arguments that someone might put forth. Oh, well, they only release a certain size, or they only release a certain species. Nope. It says they release all of them if they're found alive, no matter what the size, no matter what the species. Whether or not that's true, bottom line is they're trying to score points in somebody's eyes by claiming that they release sharks alive and release them on the other side of the net, despite the fact that their very approach to beach safety is by the eradication of sharks. And speaking of releasing sharks on the other side of the net, isn't it interesting that they made it clear that this isn't a barrier, and yet the tourists on the boat still felt better that the shark was released on a certain side of the boat? Let me rephrase. At the beginning of the tour, he said it wasn't a barrier. By the end, when he was desperately trying to explain something that doesn't make sense, he was calling it a barrier again. And none of this mattered to the tourists. Humans are funny. They hear what they want to hear and believe what they want to believe. I mean, when a third of the sharks are caught on the inside of the nets, and you still feel better that they're released on the outside of the nets? Humans, the planet desperately needs you to stop being monsters.